You've spent decades driving massive revenue and leading incredible teams. Your resume? It should be your ultimate career weapon. But what if the very words you're using are actually making you sound, well, obsolete? Today, we are going to fix that. Okay, let's be honest. Have you ever used phrases like these? If you have, you might be accidentally shooting your job search in the foot before it even starts. You think these words signal experience, but what recruiters and, more importantly, the bots hear is that you're from a totally different era. Here's the hard reality. Before a single human being lays eyes on your resume, it gets scanned by something called an applicant tracking system, or ATS. Think of it as a bouncer for resumes. These bots are programmed to look for very specific modern keywords, and they zip through hundreds of applications in seconds. If your resume uses language they flag as outdated, you get filtered out. It doesn't matter how much revenue you've driven. It's all about presentation. So let's get right into it. I'm going to walk you through the 4 biggest traps that are getting high-impact experienced professionals just like you screened out of the process. First up, your resume is missing the actual names of modern digital platforms. I'm talking about HubSpot, Salesforce, Google Analytics 4. If those specific keywords aren't on the page, the bots just assume you don't have the skills. Period. It's that simple. Number 2, your achievements sound way too fuzzy. You say you managed successful campaigns or built high-performance teams. But you know what? In today's world, which is totally data-driven, if you can't attach a number, a percentage, or a dollar sign to it, it might as well have never happened. And third, you're focusing on your established network or your long-standing relationships. Now, we all know how valuable that is, but when you frame it like that, it sounds like you're just relying on an old Rolodex, not a strategic, modern, revenue-generating pipeline. And finally, you're talking about your tech skills way too passively. You might say you're comfortable with digital tools. A modern leader doesn't just use tools. No way. They lead the implementation of technology that drives real, measurable business results. So how do we fix all this? It's actually simpler than you think. We need to translate everything you did into quantifiable, high-impact results. This is literally the most powerful change you can make. We're shifting the focus from what you did to the incredible value you created. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? On the left, you're a manager. You managed stuff. Fine. But on the right, you're a revenue-generating strategic powerhouse. Now, which one of those 2 people do you think is getting the interview? It's a no-brainer. Every single achievement, every bullet point on your resume needs to answer these 3 questions. It's not just about saying you increased leads. It's about showing exactly how your strategy led to a measurable bottom-line impact for the business. Okay, let's talk about technology. It is not enough to just list a bunch of tools. You have to frame them as a core part of your leadership strategy. This is how you prove you don't just use technology, you actually wield it to drive serious growth. This right here is the formula. You connect a specific platform to a specific quantified business outcome. So you didn't just use HubSpot, no. You led an implementation achieving a 250% increase in qualified leads. See the difference? That's the language of a modern leader. This is it. This is the language of a digital-first leader. It's exactly what hiring managers and those pesky AI resume scanners are searching for. These are action verbs that position you as the strategist in charge, not just some passenger along for the digital ride. All right, now for what might be your greatest competitive advantage, those deep industry relationships you've built. This is a massive asset, but we have to talk about it in the language of business value, not just seniority. This simple reframe turns your experience from what could be seen as a sign of age into a powerful, strategic, revenue-generating asset. The old way sounds passive, maybe even a little backward-looking. The new approach, it's active, it's driven by metrics, and it's tied directly to the bottom line. Think about your existing clients. I'm sure you've grown those accounts. You have to quantify it. A single powerful number like 140% net revenue expansion shows you're not just a relationship manager. You are a strategic partner who drives growth from within. This one metric proves the power of your network more than a dozen vague sentences ever could. So you're probably thinking, okay, this is great, but how do I actually put all of this into action? I got you. Here is your actionable 5-step plan to completely overhaul your resume and position yourself as the digital-first leader you truly are. Follow these 5 steps, and I promise you, it will fundamentally transform how your resume is seen by both the bots and the humans.
Remember, this isn't about changing your experience, it's about translating it into the language that today's business world understands and values.
Let me be clear, your deep strategic skills, your ability to build brands, architect huge campaigns, and manage critical client relationships are more valuable today than they have ever been. This whole process is just about making sure your resume communicates that power and value from the very first glance.
And hey, if you want to really put this to the test, tools like Pass the Scan actually use AI to analyze your resume against these exact patterns. They'll pinpoint where you can strengthen your message to get past those filters and right in front of the decision makers. The goal here isn't just to get an interview, it's to make sure your proven value gets the attention and ultimately the offer it truly deserves.